the Social Security Administration just made and is going to be effective Monday, March 16th, 2025, is, according to them, going to help you get your disability claim approved quicker, get your Medicare started on time, get your retirement benefits. They're going to be able to pick up the phone. You no longer have to wait 3 hours to get into the Social Security Administration on the phone. The offices are going to be open for business. Everything is going to go back to normal. It's going to be awesome, and free ice cream and unicorns for everybody. Well, not so much. So here's the deal. Effective March 16th, the president and DOGE and the acting commissioner of Social Security Administration, who is a DOGE guy, suspended telework for Social Security employees. So they can no longer work from home. Telework, fine, okay, that's their prerogative, I guess. But I have argued this several times, and we will see the proof in the pudding here pretty soon that this is not going to improve customer service. 2 reasons. I've mentioned this several times on my channel. For those regular viewers know this, that let's say the phones. I ran the 3rd busiest Social Security office in the country, and every office in the country, the 1,200 plus offices throughout the country, have the same system. If you have an employee that is scheduled for phones that particular day, if they are in the next cubicle or 10 miles down the road, they are monitored. Each of the manager and the assistant district manager and the particular person supervisor has a monitor up there, and it shows, it will pop up yellow and then red if the person is not answering phones. If they're taking too long for a particular phone call, say, hey, how come it's taking so long? Oh, this person has a difficult overpayment. Oh, okay, all right, no problem. And everything is monitored, and each office is monitored by an area director and a regional, well, they used to be regional commissioners, but they shut those down. So, and same thing for claims. If you have an appointment for the day, if you don't take your appointment, if you don't call them in time, then it becomes an issue. So in terms of telework, the systems in place, any employee could be in the next cubicle or 20 miles down the road, and it doesn't matter. They've got the phone system. They have, it's called VIP to monitor the appointments. So super long story short, this is really not going to improve customer service. According to the politicians, the House representatives, they had a special committee a few weeks ago, and they said if Social Security employees return to work as if they weren't working, they were just working remotely, then everything will be awesome, and then they will pick up the phones in 5 minutes, and then you can schedule an appointment to get your retirement, Medicare, and the offices will be open. Okay, here it is. You've gotten your wish. Starting Monday, call up Social Security, and if you have to wait over 5 or 10 minutes, you know that they weren't telling you the truth. They were just using that as an excuse to bash Social Security again, to lose confidence in Social Security so they can, work on their ultimate project is to privatize Social Security, give it over, part it out, destroy it. And so that's the argument I made a few weeks ago, but now it's even worse because you've got these politicians that say, well, if Social Security employees just return to the offices, again, they're still working. If they return to the office, then everything will be hunky-dory. But then they go fire thousands of Social Security employees, anywhere from 12 to probably more, 12% or more of Social Security employees are no longer employed with the Social Security Administration because they've been fired, voluntold to leave, early retirements, pushed out, scared out, traumatized out, whatever the case may be, and they're no longer there. And those are the people that help you get your benefits. When you pay into Social Security all those decades, part of the contract is here's, when I hit 62 or 67 or I pass away and my survivor get benefits, whatever the case may be, that money is there for them. Part of that is when I get that age or my surviving spouse or my children need those benefits, someone in the office will help us get those benefits. Well, they've broken that part of the contract, and now there's going to be fewer and fewer employees at those offices helping you get those benefits. And that's essentially kind of a backdoor cut to, if you can't get the benefits you earned, then you can't get your benefits you earned. You might miss a month or 2 months or 3 months, not get the right check at the right time. So, okay. So if they want to, put everybody back in the office, that's fine. Social Security survived for 80 years in the office, so that's not that big of a deal. So they'll return to work, return to the office, but fewer employees are going to be returning to the office. And I'm just saying, don't expect customer service to be improved, because the issue has always been Social Security is at a 50-year low in terms of staffing. They haven't been this bad in 50 years. Well, now it's even worse because of all the cuts. Now we're probably going back to 1935 levels. And now we've got the baby boomers, between 1946 and 1964, 70 million baby boomers. 11,000 people are turning 65 every day and need help with retirement and Medicare and getting signed up for Part A and Part B and all the rest of it. And they're just not able to get help, and they're going to lose their benefits. They're not going to get the right check at the right time. They're not going to be able to get signed up for Part A or Part B at the right time. So that's one of the reasons I do this channel, is to help you navigate the system. Okay, so for those of you who believe, I did a little poll and I said, do you think this change will improve customer service at the Social Security Administration? 78% said no, it's not going to improve customer service. 22% said yes, it will improve customer service. So, all right. So 22%, give them a call next week, and they should pick up the phone in a few minutes, or not. All right, let's go ahead. This is also a live Q&A. I did a live Q&A a few hours ago, and talked about that $6,000 stimulus check. It's not really a stimulus check. It's back pay for the Social Security Fairness Act. People, make sure you watch that video if you got any questions about that. But since y'all got me with this kind of breaking news, let's go ahead and answer some of your questions. All right, let's see here. Wait, what about the SSDI now? But what happens next? For SSDI, so if you're currently receiving Social Security disability insurance, then there shouldn't be any changes. SSDI has always been kind of a, one of the issues in terms of, fraud, waste, and abuse. SSDI does have fraud, waste, and abuse. That's one of the main areas of overpayments, is people receiving SSDI and SSI, the Supplemental Security Income, the welfare-based program that Social Security administers. There's always been a problem with it, people working and not, no longer disabled and stuff. And so, but Social Security has always worked on that. Continuing disability reviews, they send out the continuing disability reviews, they monitor, your work and all the rest of it. Could it get better? Yes. If Elon and the DOGE kids, as the acting commissioner, even the acting commissioner, who is a DOGE guy, is kind of nervous about what's going on. They tried to end phone service. And they said, hey, if you want to file a claim, you have to come into the office or file online. And then luckily, Social Security employees and the Washington Post ran a story and kind of kicked back on that, and they kind of backpedaled. So hopefully, that they won't try that again, because people live out in the country. They're too far away from a Social Security office. They're disabled. They don't have internet access. They can't use the internet. And if they can't call and talk to a human being, then it's a backdoor cut. But your SSDI, as of right now, no changes. There might be an increase of CDRs. So you might get a continued disability review. So I'm worried about my Social Security now. I'm almost 66. Yeah, a lot of people are. This has never happened like this since 1935. And some people think it's great that it's happening. Some people, not so much. So whatever side of the fence you are on, a lot of people are worried about that. And people that were planning on retiring at 67 or waiting till their 70th birthday, a lot of people are taking that into consideration. And as I point out several times in this channel, there was going to be cuts anyway in about 2033 or 2034, because of the trust fund running out, because of the trust fund being paid out every day. There's only a certain amount of money in there, $2.6 trillion, a lot of money. But when you pay out $100 billion, $120, $130 billion a year, it slowly diminishes. And then it's going to be diminished here in a few years. And then everybody's going to get a cut if nothing is fixed. And so that's why a lot of people have decided, well, I was going to wait till 70, but I'm going to go ahead and get while the getting's good. Nobody can make that decision for you. That is 100% your decision on when you want to start your benefits. Nobody has a crystal ball. I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody. But I do know right now, as it stands right now, there are going to be cuts. Um, again, 2033, 2034, 21% cuts as of right now, if nothing is done. If some of the stuff happens that the current administration is talking about, no taxes on Social Security, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on tips, then the cuts are going to happen sooner, and it's going to happen more because less money is coming into the system and less something has to be done. If nothing's done, that's a certainty. And don't take my word for it. Go into my YouTube description. I have the Social Security Trustees report that says that. I have the Congressional Budget Office that says that. So it's based on actual, I guess, reality, right? All right, let's see what other kind of questions we have here. Been waiting 4 months for surviving benefits. Has just been sitting in stage 2, no lump sum yet. Then, according to the politicians, the committee that ran this was the House Representatives. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene and Clay Higgins out of Louisiana. So they say as soon as the Social Security employees go back to work, everything is going to be beautiful and the wait times. And so, according to them, you should get your benefits Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't think so. Yeah. So call them up and say, hey, you said when they return to work, everything's going to be good. What happened? Oh, you fired everybody since then? Oh, maybe. Yeah. So wait a second. Cut and demoralize staff, cut benefits, turn off the recipients and against the program, say it's inoperable and privatize. Same old playbook. Don't let them get away with it. Yeah, this is the playbook. If you look at my YouTube description, I have it down there. This was a playbook written in the 1980s, and they are fulfilling it perfectly. I mean, this is a Super Bowl victory for those who are trying to get rid of Social Security. So you can go into the YouTube description and you can read the playbook. And it's working out perfectly for the people that want to privatize Social Security, that want to give your Social Security benefits over to. And then there's a bunch of articles that I've noticed recently in magazines talking about that. Everybody's talking about giving Social Security over to Wall Street. Nobody's talking about it except for the people that are writing these. Yeah, so it's crazy. We are shocked to see what Trump and company are doing to Social Security. We voted for this mess. That's in terms of Social Security. I mean, you vote whatever reason you vote for, but all of the polls for decades have always shown, it doesn't matter what political party people are, 80% of people support Social Security. 80% of regular people throughout the country support Social Security and wanted to stay stable and want customer service to be improved and all that. So this is a bipartisan effort. So it doesn't matter what side you're on, almost everybody, 80% plus people support Social Security. But that's the issue. For those people trying to privatize it, they're like, wow, people really love this. How are we going to make them not love it? Well, here we go. Cut staff. You traumatize, and the office of the guy who's running the OMB, the Office of Management and Budget, he specifically said that. How do we get rid of federal employees? We traumatize them. You know, if they don't get out, if we're not able to cut them or fire them or get rid of probation or whatever, we'll traumatize the heck out of them and make them, flee the sinking ship. And then we'll say Social Security doesn't work, and then we'll come in with our solution. Give it to our buddies on Wall Street. So the past director was on MSNBC this morning. There will be delays in distributing funds in the future. Yeah, Martin O'Malley. I wish he would be a little bit more. Well, if they mess up the computer system, yes. I'm hoping they really don't mess up the computer system. Social Security has been asking Congress for decades, please give us the resources to update the computer system. Please, we're running on 1970s technology. And Congress continually says, no, because they don't want it to work. And the people that have been keeping the computer system together and functioning for 90 years, well, obviously, but Social Security hasn't missed a check in 90 years. The people that have been keeping it running with bubble gum and string for the last few decades, those are the first people fired. So, yeah, I hope the computer system doesn't go down. I mean, it goes down once a year or something. When I worked over probably about once a year, it went down for a few hours, and we just we were able to work around it. But if it goes down for days or weeks, then hopefully it doesn't go down. I've been waiting for 4 months after I called. Okay, already answered that one. My husband retired 2 years ago at 75. I'm afraid DOGE will take away our Social Security. Yeah, if he's currently receiving benefits right now, hopefully nothing happens. Hopefully the computer system doesn't go down. So for that particular case, hopefully everything will be good. I'm being positive, but the people that need help. So your husband is receiving benefits. He doesn't need help. He doesn't need to change his address. He doesn't have an overpayment. Nobody was working under his Social Security number illegally, and he needs to get that addressed. Or as long as he doesn't have any issues, should be good. Unless the computer system goes down. Hopefully, it doesn't go down. But for all those people, those 11,000 people turning 65 every day and need to get, people that their spouses pass away and they need to go get survivor benefits. People filing for disability, people filing for spouse benefits, independently entitled divorce spouse benefits, SSI, all that. Yeah, those are the people that are really going to suffer, unfortunately. Let's see. Hello, Dr. Ed, and many blessings. Doc, do you happen to know of dates of disbursement for WEP? Yeah, I just did a video a couple hours ago, and what was it? 8% of the people that were in my live already got their checks. So yeah, well, I guess that's I guess 8% of the people that were, but only 3% are actually eligible for that. So a lot of people already got their checks. So if you haven't, the official word from Social Security is if you don't get your check by April, then reach out. A lot of those are automatic. They had to redo the computer system to get those checks out. But if you don't get yours in April, reach out to Social Security. And according to the politicians, it only take you a few minutes to get online to get someone. So maybe take the 87,000 IRS agents hired. Yeah. He did that through reconciliation, and the IRS. The reason those IRS agents were hired is because it takes a lot of IRS agents to get the big money. For us regular schmoes, it's easy, to get our money. But the people that make a lot of money, they have tax attorneys and big accountants and all that kind of stuff. So it takes a lot of agents to go after the big money. So when you let go of those agents, then you just can't go after the big money. You just go after the easy, low hanging fruit, aka us. And I think he dropped the ball. Biden dropped the ball. He should have done the same thing because the other party wasn't willing to do that. So he had to go through a reconciliation process where he didn't have to get, a majority. He just had to get a simple majority. He should have done the same thing for Social Security. But those people would have been on probation and they would have been fired anyway. So, but the judge just ruled in the Alsup case that a lot of those probationary employees, they were fired because they were subpar, but they were not. And so, yeah, I think this whole thing is going to cost us a lot more money. It's like, hey, we saved, $100 million by firing all these people, but they were fired illegally. They're going to come back and sue, and it just might cost us the PAC. We always pay. It's always it's always us to eventually pay. So we might have to pay more over the long run. So didn't actually save anything. I never have gone, but by that time they'll get their tax credits and, their tax breaks. And so, I've never gone on the government agency or any government thing within 5 minutes ever. Yes. Yeah. Again, it's a 50-year low. This has been, and this is not this administration alone. It's the previous administration, the Trump previous administration. He was, Biden, it was fault. It's Trump's fault, Bush's fault, it's Clinton's fault, it's Obama's fault, and all the politicians for the last 30 or 40 years that they didn't fulfill the contract. My Social Security check came in on the second Monday, usually deposit second Wednesday. Probably the weekend or something like that. I do at the end of every month, I do kind of a check scheduling type of video, but I've got the schedule in there for each month. When were they ever efficient? I haven't met a government agency that is efficient. Oh, mine was pretty efficient. I had 100 employees in my office, and we answered the phones within 5 or 6 minutes. We always had appointments on the calendar. When people had a 9 o'clock appointment, they were called at 9 o'clock, 1 or 2 minutes, and I monitored the heck out of that. So it really depends on your local office. But once they started us hiring freeze and we started losing employees, then yeah, customer service started to diminish. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. My husband applied for Social Security retirement at full retirement age. It all got sent in by the local office. When the award letter came out, the amount was wrong. It's likely they transposed the numbers and not in our. Okay, yeah. So if something happens like that, yeah. So you got the award letter. Perfect. So that means they did everything. And on the award letter, it says, hey, if you disagree with this, you have the right to appeal. It's a SSA 561. So make sure you fill that out and say, hey, here's the deal. The benefit amount is wrong. So, and someone else will take a look at it, redo the calculations, and then let you know what's going on. Let's see. My late husband was a police officer for at least years. I will be getting survivor benefits in May. Will I see anything extra or no? If he was a police officer in one of those areas that, non-covered employment where he didn't pay into Social Security, but he did pay other places, then his benefit amount he'll get a higher percentage amount than, other people. But since you haven't started yet, your benefits, then yeah, it'll be normal. So when you do file. But if he was receiving benefits for a while and you know how much he was receiving, that's not the number they will go after probably, because he was receiving a WEPT pension, the windfall elimination provision, benefit amount. When you file, that WEP no longer applies because of the Social Security Fairness Act. So I called Social Security yesterday morning after a 30-minute on hold. 30 minutes or 30 hours, probably 30 minutes. I was given option for them to call back. I chose it, and someone called me back early afternoon, same day. Surprisingly, she helped me greatly too. Awesome. So in your particular office, because there's 1,200 offices, some offices are affected more than others. So in your particular office, I guess nobody got moved out or quit or early retired yet. So your particular office is good. So, but as I talked about, even if your office looks like it's open, how the whole thing works is offices have different specialties. Each office, they have a mixture of what's called the Title II or the Title 16. Title II of the Social Security Act, Title 16 of the Social Security Act. Title II does retirement, survivor benefits, child benefits, SSDI. Title 16 does SSI, supplemental security income. So in your particular office, you drive by and it's like, oh, it's open. Okay, cool. Everything is good. But maybe all of the people that do the Title II, the retirement and survivor benefits, maybe they all quit. And the only people you have in your office are SSI people who can't do the other. So it looks like it may be open, but it might not be for you, or vice versa. So, Dr. Ed, I have $30,000 Sears pension. Wow, Sears. I haven't heard that in a long time. I'll be 65 next year and collecting SSDI. What offset my benefits? Zero. Yeah. A regular pension like that has no effect on Social Security disability insurance at all, or retirement benefits at all, or survivor benefits at all. The only thing that will affect a pension is if you're receiving SSI, the welfare-based program, which you are not. So, yep, won't affect it whatsoever. So I'm planning on starting Social Security in September. My birthday is the 2nd. Does September count as my first? Yeah, because Social Security considers you attained age the day before. So you should be able to start a month earlier than perhaps you thought. Vietnam vet here. Oh, folks in the U.S. don't care much about veterans nor the elderly. It certainly doesn't seem like it. They're going to be losing, 80,000 plus from the Veterans Administration. So, and there's, again, this live Q&A is sponsored by Chapter. So, March 31st is the deadline if you want to switch your Medicare Advantage plan. If you're thinking about getting out of a Medicare Advantage, returning to a Medicare supplement, to original Medicare and getting a Medicare supplement, which you might have to go through health underwriting, but doesn't hurt to check. So you can do that until March 31st. And particularly vets, because they're going to be cutting back Veterans Affairs, all those people, if you have been using the VA clinic and you've been happy with it up until now, that might change. So an option is to fall back to your original Medicare Part A, Part B. You have until March 31st to go ahead and sign up for Part B if you didn't before. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan, one of those Part B give back, you might want to check it to make sure it's still the best one. If you haven't checked it in a few years, again, you can reach out to a chapter. They work throughout the country, and you just tell them what you're looking for. They can see what's available in your area and help you out. And if you're in the best plan, they'll say, see you next year. And their help is completely free. So I was married for 10 years and have been divorced since 2008. My Social Security is higher than his. Do I still have access to his? And what if he is on SSDI? He is 70. So divorce. So sounds like he's still out there alive and kicking. So your benefit amount is higher than his. So yeah, so no, there's no other benefits. So if your full benefit amount is higher than his full benefit amount, then you will never collect any benefits on his record. So let's see. I couldn't vote because I was sick, and I could have voted by mail and chose not to because I don't trust the mail. Okay. Obviously, no phone access would be a needless major problem with those with limited mobility. Yes. Yeah. And luckily, that story broke that they were thinking about they weren't thinking about it. They were going to end telephone service. And that story broke, and the acting commissioner of Social Security sent out a thing and said, oh, no, we weren't thinking about that. No, you were. Someone is going to do the Freedom of Information Act and demand that Social Security release the transcripts of the phone call that the commissioner was talking to people about ending this. And so they were going to end it, but then he came back, oh, no, we're not going to. Then he's going to be, yeah. This is the Wild West. I think disbursements are going to be less dependable due to the new payment system Frank Bissingenow will be putting in. I don't know. He is a Wall Street guy, which is kind of scary. But he's also kind of a payment efficiency guy. So he was in Wall Street, but he made the organizations, I guess, more efficient. So it really depends on what hat he is going to put on. Is he going to put on, yeah, we need to give this over to Social Security, or we need to give Social Security over to Wall Street. There's already some private equity people in there now. There's more DOGE people in Social Security than any other organizations, because Social Security has, $2.6 trillion that they want to get a hold of. So if the new commissioner puts on his efficiency hat, awesome, perfect. If he puts on his privatized Social Security hat, then not so much. And you might agree with, giving Social Security, the trust fund and everything over to Wall Street. So if you agree with that, then yeah. So what about all the people working that are paying into Social Security? Are these funds being considered as accumulate into Social Security? Yes, absolutely. It's still being in there. Let me pull out I've got a graphic here. Here it is. So this is 2023. We haven't come up with the 2024 numbers yet, but in 2023, $1.1 trillion came into Social Security, and that's mostly through FICA tax, which you pay out of your paycheck. And then about $50 billion came in from taxes. That is, people that make over a certain amount pay taxes on their Social Security benefits. So $50 billion came in from that. And there's $63 billion that came in from interest, because that trust fund is, treasury bills, and we basically loan it to the government, and the government pays us, the money back with interest. So $63 billion of interest every year. The problem is 1.1 trillion coming in, 1.2 trillion being paid out. So in 2023, What covers the gap? The trust fund. So $70 billion was pulled out of the trust fund. 2024, probably 80, 90, 100 billion were taken out. This year, probably 120, 130, 140 billion to be taken out. And that's, savings. And those savings are running out. So, and the reason I put the little donation thing down there at the bottom is people think that the trust fund is just fake money. And so I say, if you think it's fake money, probably about 5, 6, 7, 8% of your check comes from the trust fund. So if you think it's fake money, please donate 6 or 7% of your check to a local animal shelter or something, because it is fake money. They will think it's real money. So, okay. Mr. Ed, I work as a waitress. Later, I work for the federal government. I notice SSA has combined years 66 to 80. They taking money. Will WEP apply? I will have to call Shoney's. You number one, great. You did your thing. You went into SSA.gov. You set up an account. You're looking at your earnings. You're paying attention. Awesome. Yeah, they changed the My Social Security thing recently, where they combine those earnings. But if you go to the bottom and click on it, it'll expand those earnings, so you can see exactly what years you paid whatever. So, and then my mother was a waitress for her whole life, so that's a tough job. So if you work for the federal government, it depends whether you work for the federal government starting before the early 1980s or after. If you work before, then you're probably part of the old system, the CSRS. If you started after, then you did pay into Social Security. So, all right, let's see. Dr. Ed, where's the form to file for spousal benefits? Can we apply online or have to get an appointment? I'm 65 in May and filed one week ago for mine. My husband is 70, teacher, and receives checks. Okay, yeah. So for spouse benefits, you can do that online. Call, schedule an appointment. You don't need a form or anything like that. You just go online because your husband is still alive and kicking. Surviving spouse's benefits you can't do online, but you can do yours online, or you can schedule an appointment, either one. But yeah, the important thing is you filed for benefits on your own record. And now if your benefit amount is less than half of your husband's full benefit amount, then you can collect his benefit. And make sure you look at the right numbers. A lot of people are missing money because they're looking at the wrong numbers. So the spouse has to be less than half of the other spouse. But don't look at the MBA, look at the PIA. What's that? The MBA is your monthly benefit amount. That's how much your actually check is. People make this mistake all the time. So please subscribe and like and share and all that stuff so we can get this information out there. A lot of people are suffering, need this money. So if you look at how much your check is and you ask your husband, hey, Bob, how much is your check? And then you say, well, mine's not half of your. Don't look at those numbers. Those are possibly incorrect numbers. You have to look at the primary insurance amount, the amount you would have received if you waited till your full retirement age, and the amount your spouse would have received if they waited till the full retirement age. That's the numbers you go by, not how much your check is, because maybe you took your benefits early, or your husband took it late or early, or getting Medicare taken out. So don't look at those numbers. Look at the primary insurance amount. And if you can't get online to check the PIA, the primary insurance amount, then just call the 800 number. And I guess, again, starting Monday, you won't have to wait. Yeah, sorry, gallows humor there for a second. There will be no future cuts to Social Security because Elon is outing all the graft and shilling and money taking. That is why he is doing it, to expose them. Well, he hasn't found one penny yet. Yeah, he seems to be obsessed with did people receiving benefits, but that's just a database of Social Security numbers. You know how much money has been paid out of the database he's looking at today? Zero. How about yesterday? Zero. How about last year? Zero. How about since 1935? Zero. The total amount paid out from the database he is looking at for the last 90 years has been zero. If he wants to make it all pretty and tie it in a nice bow for the date of death and all that, then go for it. But you're wasting your time. That's not where the money comes from. It comes from the MBR. And those people over 112, 150, 300 years are not getting paid. They're suspended or terminated from the record that actually pays them. Over here, Social Security doesn't have the death certificate, so they can't legally close it out. So it's just, but it's a way to beat up Social Security and, Social Security is so incompetent. They've got all these records that are still open. It's like, well, Social Security said, yeah, we'll fix them. Give us $5 to $8 million and we'll search the world and find death certificates. So I'm not a troll. Okay. Thank God. Okay. Well, it wasn't elevated. Would it be getting more billions? Okay. I'm not sure what all that is. All right. Work as a waitress. Okay. Let's see here. Why not raise the Social Security income limit? Yes, I agree. There has been major shift in wealth to the very rich, so a smaller fraction of our national wealth is being taxed for Social Security. Exactly. Since the 1980s, wages for the most of us have been stagnant, adjusted for inflation, but money, wow, people have, even Warren Buffett was on TV the last couple of days, says, yeah, this economy is awesome for, people like me, he says, making tons of money. And he pays FICA Social Security tax on the first 176,000. So everything, the other billions of dollars he makes after that, he doesn't pay Social Security tax anymore. We pay it on every dollar. So that's the reason. It's not because of graft or P and Bain did people. Those are distractions politicians use, and they are very, very good at it. And we fall for it all the time. We continuously fall for their distractions. One day one day we'll smarten up, or it'll be too late. So. What does lifetime disability mean? A friend is on disability from his job and he believes he will be compensated on disability for life. Is that true? Well, for Social Security, like the VA has like partial disability, 10, 20, 30%. For Social Security disability, you're either disabled or you're not. You have the Social Security defines disability as the inability to work, and your disability is going to last 12 months or longer. So if you're on disability from Social Security, unless you get a major operation, new technology, new medication, or the guy that started Social Security, FDR, he had polio. So Social Security would say, hey, FDR, Franklin, you are not disabled. Sure, you're disabled, but you're working, so therefore you don't get Social Security. So some people, Stephen Hawkins, he was disabled, but Social Security would not consider him disabled, would not give him a check because he was able to work, write books, and make tons of money doing speeches and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's the definition of disability for Social Security. All right, I want to keep this a little bit shorter question and answer today. So we'll do one or two more questions. Come November, I will be 66 and 10 months old. The plan is to start collecting my Social Security and continue working. How nervous should I be about this not happening because of musket trauma? Again, I wish I had I would say, take all that into consideration. If you continue to work, you're limited the amount of money you can make anyway. This year, if you're under your full retirement age, you're looking at about $23,400. If you reach your full retirement age this year, you can make $62,160 in the months before you hit your full retirement age. Once you hit your full retirement age, you can make $1 million a month. It doesn't matter anymore. I think so. If that's the case, invite a Chinese nationalist to head up DOGE. Okay, all right. All right, let's do one more question here. I got an email that I will not get anything mailed now. Everything will have to be online and print my statements. Yeah, I think that's a good thing the Social Security Administration did is, to save tons of money in terms of postage and all that stuff and mailing out. I used to have to mail out letters in our office and it, took a long time, a lot of postage and stuff. But you can opt into that, opt in or opt out. So what they're doing now is they're trying to go electronic to where rather than mail you a letter, whatever they send you, you can go into My Social Security and opt into electronic letters. So when you get something, I guess you get an email that says, hey, we just put something into your My Social Security account, go in there and check it out. So yeah, that's good. That'll save the agency a lot of money. That's been a long time in the works. But you can opt out of that. So, some people just don't have internet access. So, All right, let me do one more question. Mr. Ed, I found out Payment Center failed to pay me my back pay and sent the bank the wrong Social Security number to return the money back. How can I contact Birmingham Payment Center? Is Birmingham still in business? I know they closed down a lot of the regional offices, and so, but the Payment Center, yeah, they're probably super understaffed. But yeah, yeah, you don't really contact the payment center directly. It's very, if you got a number, go for it. But contact your local office, and then contact your second local office. That is your senators and your congresspeople. That says, hey, since you have decided not to provide customer service at our local Social Security office, you are now customer service. So where's my check? So all politics is local. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, please reach out to all your friends, family, and whatever they're going to do, make sure they do it quickly, because of all the delays and the short staffing and everything is going to take a lot longer. And make sure you share this channel, and we'll help them make sure they get everything they earned. Y'all take care. Have a beautiful night, and take care of each other.